After one round, we see some significant change, actually. Charlemagne didn't get much. He added Bavaria to his holdings, tried to rule it, ended up getting a claim to it. That's a pretty standard first move, just because this may actually be an error, something missing in the rules. Bavaria is the only kind of Catholic German area that he can reach. Brandenburg should have a pagan marker. More important than, I don't know what. More important than Sweden. We know Sweden's pagan. The Byzantines, on the other hand, drew a dynastic inheritance card, which they played. And there's two kinds. This one allowed them to take a set of connected areas to which they had claims. So they got Naples, Rome, and Tuscany, all added to their empire. But then the emperor died and actually got replaced by someone more useful. These numbers are your attributes for your leader. Now Charlemagne ranks 9 in each, which is as good as you can get. The Byzantine initial leader was a 5-3-3, 5 combat, 3 administration, 3 diplomacy. He's got somebody a little better now with that administrative value. Administration is probably the most important of all the values in the game, although combat can really make somebody's day miserable if you want to light them up. But administration, generally you're spending so much of the game trying to keep your empire from being in revolt that it's difficult to expand it. When you have claims like they did here, a card can do a great deal, though. The year is 781 after 2 rounds. The Byzantines actually ran through 2 kings in this series of rounds, and now they're had a good administrator again, but weak in diplomacy. Only real change in the game, Charlemagne took Lombardy and restored its stability. The Byzantines played another dynastic inheritance card, and these are rare. This was actually, again, a multi-territory one, and they got Venice this time, which is a tough nut to crack. My guess is that the Franks are going to go to war with the Byzantines. The Byzantines spent some time trying to upgrade their value, and the money's already beginning to pile up for them. With a good administrator, that happens. But they had to keep a card in reserve in an attempt to defend Tuscany. Because Franks have claim to it and will probably be going to war with the Byzantines over it. Of course, by holding a card, the Franks may decide instead it's cheaper to go do other things. 786, and the Franks did actually attempt to attack Tuscany, but they failed and had to try to resuscitate Lombardy. The Byzantines didn't use their card in defense. The odds were too ugly against Charlemagne. However, on that last card that they held, they lost yet another leader, and now they're still a good administrator, but even worse combat ability. The year is 796. Charlemagne has continued southward down the peninsula, and he's conquered Naples, actually. Only the Eastern Orthodox territories of Apulia and Sicily have not been taken. The Byzantines, on their he also pulled a cool card. Gives it an extra buck in taxation. It's not a big deal for Charlemagne, but for other countries it can be a huge bonus that lasts until your leader dies heirless. The Byzantines had a few problems other than Charlemagne, who they've been pretty much ignoring for the past 10 years. They had an epidemic, which lowered some of the social states. They also had an attempt to rule in Constantinople, which set an unrest there. Normally you can tax your capital without making an unrest roll. One of the many little house rules that I made is if the capital's in unrest, you do have to make a roll if you want to tax it. It adds a little bit of flavor. Otherwise, unrest in your capital can be pretty much ignored, which I don't like at all. One other little thing, Charlemagne made an attempt to do diplomacy on Wessex. Basically an extra card at one point, threw a buck in. It's a chance of a diplomatic conquest. Being able to break England so that it doesn't become a player is kind of cool to all the people involved in it. I'm assuming the 3 people who are going to be Charlemagne's heirs are looking at playing this together. The event deck was reshuffled because the Byzantines... No, I lied. Yeah, because the Byzantines don't own Rome anymore, their chances of unifying the church, which isn't really a good thing for them, so, I mean, it's just a random roll, but was lower than it would have been if they owned it. They kind of wanted to own it, though, so, because they have a claim to it. One thing I forgot about, I looked up because I didn't think it applied. It doesn't apply for the first round of the game. But Raiders and Magnates, well, Magnates could appear in the first round, conceivably, although it's a low chance. But Raiders, the Saracens actually start out in 776, so I should have been playing Saracen, turns out. In one round, we're going to start seeing the early Vikings show up. That'll change the nature of things. The Saracens focus only over in the West Med, so they pretty much serve to destroy the social state of that area, which usually makes trying to form an Italian kingdom totally worthless at this point in the game, and in fact, really until after Italy, after Sicily had actually become rather potent. So I'm troubled by that fact in the game. Certainly in the campaign game, that area remains desolate, essentially forever. Spain, same issue, which is one reason why you don't see a lot of French or Franks down conquering Spain, even though it's easy. They're getting the claims that are of some value. But yeah, in terms of making territories that are valuable to the different players, there's nothing you can do about the Raiders, basically. Well, against the Saracens. Against the Vikings or Magyars, when the Magyars show up in 100 years, you'll be able, if you convert them to Christianity, they stop being raiders. Same thing with the Vikings. If you convert them to Christianity, they give in and, you know, become devout non-massacres, non-pillagers. Anyway, that's where we are right now.